Yo, what's going on, guys? ExtraFusion here, and the Call of Duty Vanguard multiplayer beta is live. I've played about 3 hours of it so far, and I'm going to give you my first impressions of what I've played so far. I'm going to try to get some more gameplay throughout the weekend and give you maybe a better review as the weekend goes on, maybe a little more in-depth review as I play more things, as I use more things, but just based off my first impressions of the beta, very early impressions, it's hard to make a good opinion on something when you haven't really played that much of it. But based on what I've played, let's just go through the things I like and the things I don't like. And as I always say in these type of videos, the pros are always going to be shorter than the cons just because of the simple fact that it's a lot easier and quicker to talk about the things that I like as opposed to the things that I don't like. The things that I don't like, there's a lot more to talk about there because those are things I want to be fixed. When it comes to the good stuff, it's not really much to say about it. It's just, oh, I like this, I like that. Let's move on to the bad stuff, because the bad stuff, I like to give suggestions on how to fix it, because just yelling out things you don't like is not really that constructive. It's better to actually give suggestions on how to make it better. First things first, for the positives, the game feels good in terms of the movement and the guns and how they kind of feel. That's all great. Now, it was kind of hard to really enjoy the feel of the game that much because on PlayStation 4, the game ran like crap, which is what I was playing it on. But I'm able to kind of separate that feeling of the frame rates dropping a lot like it was on PlayStation from the fact that the game itself does feel good at a general level. So that's a huge positive. I'm glad that movement is fast. It feels like Modern Warfare's and Cold War's movement kind of the same sort of feel. I don't really think there's much of a difference between these movement systems, to be honest. Everyone's like, oh, Cold War's movement sucks, but Modern Warfare's is great, or they say it the other way around. I don't really... They're all fine to me. Like, I've never really had an issue with it. As long as it's fast and fluid and you don't feel clunky, you don't feel like you're being kind of held down, then I like it, and I'm glad we have it. So I definitely like the feel of this game. The guns feel good, the hit markers feel good, it all feels good, and I like that, obviously. In terms of the maps, Hotel Royal and Gavatu, I think is how you pronounce that name, good maps. Actually, I would go as far as to say pretty damn great maps. They're got a little bit of complexities to them. They're not like very simplistic maps, but they are 3-laned, and they do flow decently well. They're not amazing though. There's problems with the spawns in some of the locations on some of the maps. Some of the modes don't play the best on all of those maps, but they're still good maps nonetheless. We'll talk about the other map a little bit later. Patrol, the brand new game mode they added, fantastic mode. I can already confidently say it's one of my favorite modes of all time because it's literally just hardpoint, but the hardpoint moves around, which is interesting to me. I hope hardpoint is still in the game, but Patrol seems like a great replacement. Even if they were to not include hardpoint, I wouldn't be that mad because it still plays just as fine as hardpoint does, in my opinion. So I really do enjoy Patrol. Having the combat pacing options is nice. They don't let us choose it though. Right now it just forces you into specific lobbies. I have a feeling they did that because they want us to try out everything. They didn't want us to be like, oh, I'm only going to play with this combat pacing option or only with this specific mode. They kind of want us to try different things. So that's why right now they only have like 2 playlists available, which makes sense, I guess. The game is colorful, which is great. The maps look gorgeous. Now on PlayStation 4, the graphics look like COD Mobile. But I'm able to realize that I'm going to be playing on next gen really soon, and I've seen gameplay of other players playing, and it looks really good on other consoles. It's just PlayStation 4, day one PlayStation 4, it looks terrible, and I won't, sugarcoat that at all, but again, that's not fair to judge it based off of the worst version of the game. Obviously, I know there's better versions out there, which I will be playing next weekend on the Xbox Series X, which is really damn exciting. And that's really the only positives I can think of right now. As a whole, I had fun with the beta from the first 3 hours I played, but it's a new COD. Of course I'm going to have fun with it, so it's not really a big positive to just be like, oh yeah, I had fun, whatever. Let's get to the negatives. So I'm not going to hark on this for too long, but as I said, the game runs terribly on the OG PlayStation 4. I don't know if it'll be like that for launch as well, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be on Xbox Series X for the next beta weekend anyways. And I'm sure most players have PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X by now anyways, and you got people on PC, so I don't think it's a big deal. But if you don't have next-gen consoles, you might want to, second guess whether or not you're going to buy the game at all, because honestly, it runs pretty bad on the original PlayStation 4. People have told me on PS4 Pro it's better, but OG PS4, nah, I don't know about that. For me, it was terrible. Like, the frames are like 20 frames, and the graphics look like COD Mobile, and I'm not exaggerating. I know people during Cold War, they're like, oh, this game looks like COD Mobile. We all were like, okay, you're exaggerating completely. but I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. Like, it actually kind of does look like COD Mobile from when I was playing. I mean, your gameplay here might look decent, but yeah, it's not the best in the world for sure. The time to kill is still too fast in my opinion. Most people probably are fine with it, but personally, I think it needs to be a little bit slower. I definitely feel like players are not incentivized to rush as much because of the time to kill. I do feel like I lose a lot of gunfights in an unfair manner because I have nothing I can do. I get, laser beamed across the map because of mounting or something, which is only really a big problem because the time to kill is so fast, so they can basically laser beam me and kill me like 1 or 2 shots. And the headshot multiplier is really damn high, so that makes the time to kill feel even faster than it actually is. And I'm not a fan of that. I don't think they're going to change this. This seems like something that's pretty set in stone because it definitely supports the casual fan base. It's unfortunate, but I don't think the time to kill is changing. I just don't like it at all. I'm going to always be saying that because it's a big problem with this game, and it's a big problem with a lot of Call of Duty games. Having kill streaks by default is another thing that I think is really stupid, and I'm really angered that it seems a lot of people are okay with it. They're like, oh yeah, it's fine. They'll complain about camping, they'll complain about no one playing the objective, but then they'll be like, oh no, I want kill streaks instead of score streaks. Traditional score streaks is the best system to go. We've had it for the most amount of CODs. We had it in Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Infinite Warfare, World War II. We had it like a point streak system in Ghost and Modern Warfare 3. It's the better system. We all know it is. It encourages objective play. It encourages rushing. And it makes the game feel a lot more fun to me, at least in my opinion. I would have a lot more fun playing objective modes if I was being rewarded for actually hopping on those damn objectives. Having kill streaks is stupid, and no, a perk does not fix the issue. If they throw Point Man in there, which I'm sure they will, it's not going to fix the issue because not everyone's running the same perk, and even then it becomes a crutch perk, and I don't want to be forced to use a perk just to get a thing in the game that should be there by default anyways. So yeah, that's a big issue for me. I don't like the created class system. I don't like this game's created class system. I didn't like Modern Warfare's created class system. I didn't like Cold War's created class system. I don't know why they're doing this with the class systems, but they've made them so uninteresting the past 3 years. So Gunsmith is cool. I like that. I like having a lot of options with attachments and having all the different point values and stuff of the different attachments changing different things. I like that. But what I don't like is being forced to use the same amount of things on every single class. You don't get any variety. You have to have 3 perks. You have to have 1 tactical, 1 lethal. You have to have a field upgrade. You have to have your three kill streaks. You have to have your secondary and your primary. You have to have the same amount of attachments. And there's no variety. You can't get less of something for more of something else. You can't get like, I don't know, 4 perks and give up an attachment or 2. You can't get more attachments and give up perks. There should be sacrifices you have to make. And I think that would be a lot better. And they kind of did that a little bit in Cold War with the wild cards, but it wasn't in depth enough for me to give a shit. They need to rework these systems. I don't think they are, but I don't like it. I don't like how you can have 10 attachments on a weapon. It just doesn't feel right to me. It's like, what? This gun has way too many attachments going on. I think having 5 would make more sense, but let me get more or less depending on whether or not I use other things in the class as well. Like, for example, if I want to use no equipment because I don't like using equipment. I don't like using lethals or tacticals. Let me get rid of those and get more attachments. How about that? Let me get more perks for less attachments or something, like some sort of variety there. Mix the pick 10 with Gunsmith and you have a perfect system. I don't know why they haven't thought of that, but it's a big issue for me personally. The radar perk is overpowered. Obviously, it's a crutch because for some reason they thought the minimap shouldn't be like the classic minimap and instead it should be like the Modern Warfare minimap. I'm not going to go in depth with this because you guys, I'm sure already know my problems with that, and I'm sure a lot of you don't like it, but being able to see red dots on the minimap is huge. So of course everyone's going to run that perk. It's a crutch perk now, not a good thing because now perk 2 is just going to be radar. I don't think anyone's going to ever change that up. It's stupid, but whatever. There's a bit too much flinch, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the time to kill conversation where there's too much flinch, so gunfights just feel unfair. It feels like the first person who shoots is probably going to win because the flinch is so damn high. Like, you shoot to the moon when someone shoots at you. So if you get into a hand-to-hand gunfight, like close gunfight, and they shoot at you first, because the time to kill is so fast and because the flinch is so high, you say goodbye. Like, you're not going to win that gunfight unless you get really lucky, unless that person really, really sucks. But yeah, I think they need to, slower down the time to kill and also definitely lower the flinch a little bit. Red Star as a map, I don't like it so far. I don't hate it really, but it works fine on Patrol. I think it plays fine. I think Patrol's a really good mode, so it's probably going to be good on every map. But when it comes to especially Team Deathmatch, Domination, that plays terribly on Red Star. Red Star, and not even just in the fact that it's too big, because it's not the only issue with it. It's also just way too random. It's like a Piccadilly style design where it's just random. There really is no feel to it. It's very similar to Block from COD 4 actually, which is also a really bad map. So yeah, it's not looking good for Red Star. I'm not too angered by this because it's just one map and we have 16 maps on launch. So one bad map out of 16 wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I'm, kind of worried that we're going to get at least a couple more maps like this, and that wouldn't be a good thing. I like variety, don't get me wrong, but only if that variety is good, and this is not good. So not a fan of that map. It's going to play really fun in Search and Destroy, but that does not mean it deserves to be in every mode if it's only going to play good for certain modes. Mounting and a lot of the other Modern Warfare mechanics like Dead Silence not being a perk, these are just all problems that just slow down the pacing of the game, and the game feels fast on those combat pacing modes like Blitz, which is good, but you're not always going to be playing that, and you're going to be playing 6v6 sometimes, and in those modes it's these mechanics slow it down. They do, and they make it so you can be really cheesy with things, like you can mount behind something even if it's fast paced, like you're playing Blitz. People can still mount behind things, just wait for people to come down a corridor, and because the time to kill is really fast, they decimate you and you really have nothing you can do to survive that gunfight. So I'm not happy with that. Those are basically my only complaints right now, though. I'm sure I can think of more, but as a whole, like I said, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to play some more. Definitely follow me on Twitch. Link in the description to watch me stream some more throughout this weekend. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you all in my next one. Peace out.